Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to dive in and do my sinking funds and savings tracker. I haven't really updated it yet, and I should have done it a few days ago, but it's been Mother's Day weekend and busy. And so I'm a little late to the game, but we're going to get in and dive into what's happening with the sinking funds, what's happening to the savings tracker, and getting it set up for this month. And at the end of this month, I'll be closing it out and you'll see all the different what different things we're planning on doing. Hopefully we get to put a good amount into savings and a few activity things in the sinking funds where I'm trying to get it balanced, because this month I'm actually not putting money into my sinking fund. I'm taking what's in there and redistributing it throughout so that it stays balanced, because I have to pay on a couple sinking funds this month, and instead of doing the transfer thing, I just subtracted from one balance and then spread it out through the rest and covered all the minimums for the others, and took it out of checking, so I didn't transfer any money, which was awesome. The money basically got transferred to the sinking fund that I needed to pay. So let's go ahead and dive in and do this. I will be right back. Okay, now that we're zoomed in, I can go through and take a look at what categories I have, what the ending balance is, and then what the new beginnings are going to be, and then all of the changes. I think I have, yes, I have a sticky note nearby I'm going to have to refer to on what's going to change, because a couple of these sinking funds we're definitely going to be using, and you can see last month I explained it in my closeout sinking funds video. We had a lot of things going on to balance the sinking fund savings account. So I'm going to go ahead and list these out, and then I'll fast forward through this part and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. So my sinking funds that I had for my April ending balances are now my new beginning balance. And because I have my new beginning balance, now I know I have a total way down here at the bottom, but I like putting total right here. And then just kind of go like this so that I know the totals are closer to where it is. If I had more sinking funds, it would make more sense, but I know I'm not going to have more than this, so I'm just going to keep that there. Now that I'm done, I'm officially done with April, and I've moved everything over. We're good to go. I can file this away for later, and if I need to refer back to it, I can. So now we're just going to move in closer to the sinking funds here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I've zoomed in on sinking funds. I have the beginning balances, and what I decided to do this month is because I do know that the city of Chesapeake sent us a bill. One second, I need to pull up something really quick. Okay, sinking funds. I have my categories, I have my beginning amounts, and we're going to talk through what I planned this month, because I did say I did not transfer any new money into the savings account. The only thing that actually came into the savings account is a dividend. Now, we have a Navy Federal Credit Union because my husband was Navy, and it was just the simplest bank to get to around us all the time. And they give dividends when you leave money in the account, depending on how much you have in the account. And it's just a general savings account. It's only pennies, but pennies still add up. So I am adding, how much is that? 49 cents. That's what the deposit was this month. And the not taking it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that alone. And then that gave us $2.84. Okay, so here I'm still adding in what I plan to add, except for I'm also going to subtract out to give me the proper balance I need, because I'm using my city of Chesapeake right here, $572. I have a $290 and wait a minute, is it $290? Yeah, $290.40 property tax for our vehicle, and then I also have $44.10 in stormwater. So that gives us $334.50 I need to subtract out of this account. So I'm going to go ahead and write that number down real quick since I just did the math. So that is going to come out $334.50. Anything else? And then I decided to reduce my cell phone technology one. Started with $107. I will do that in just a minute when I do the math for that. I'm trying to think where that came from. I think it was just to adjust all the balances for here. So every month I put $10 away here in our sinking fund for our Amazon Prime. It's $119 a year. So I'm going to add $10 to that. So when I reduce this, when I subtract this out, this $334.50, $10 of that went there, basically, because I didn't make a deposit, but I am paying those two bills out of my checking account, not transferring out of a savings, because whatever I would have deposited in here, I just would have pulled back out to cover, those sinking funds, and it was still within the amount I normally deposit in here. Then that's why that number is negative, and that's why this is being redistributed between all of these numbers here. And I didn't have to do a transfer, so that is pretty awesome. I add $5.83 here. I add another $5.83 because they're the same amount, and they come out about a week or two apart, so I make sure they're fully funded at the same time. And then Orkin and termite spray, I always put, grab my other sinking fund, that's not it, that's it. What I normally put here, which I have in April, I'm going to put those numbers over there. So Orkin termite spray is always $55. All right, heat and AC contract is $20. So what we do is have them come out in the spring and the fall to maintenance and check the heating and AC and make sure it is running at tip-top shape. Because the last thing we want is for it to go kaput in 100-degree heat or very cold weather. So City of Chesapeake, I'm still redistributing $52 back just to make this balance out. And the numbers will come out correct that way. Senior year, I'm doing $100 a month until I think it's August, because school starts in September for us. And so it should be $1,200 by August, and I won't be funding it any further. And anything I need to spend for my son's senior year will come out of this. Cell phone tech, I do $100 a month because technology becomes obsolete very quickly, and we don't have a choice in the matter. $50 for Christmas, just to throw something in there. Vacation is $50. And Canva, this is going to be the last time I fund this. Now this Canva was originally hot water heater, and I'll show you on the sheet where I marked it out. So originally I used to do a hot water heater. We had a bad experience where a hot water heater failed right after we moved in and bought our house. We used the home warranty, and that was a horrible company. I can't even think of the name. I've blocked their name out. I don't know. Yeah. So anyways, if you look at some of my old sinking funds videos, somebody asked in one of the comments what the company was, and I went back and put it in, but I still can't remember. I had to look it up. But yeah, just research your home warranties and make sure they have good standings and stuff like that before you invest into it. The last one is $17. Oh, what I was saying was I switched it to Canva because I realized our 6-month emergency fund has developed high enough, almost $10,000 by the end of this month. Hopefully we'll have $10,000. That if the hot water heater went out and it would be like $3,000 to get it fixed, we have the money in savings to do it. We don't need a home warranty service. We don't need, we are our own insurance basically for that. So I decided to put Canva because I went annual on Canva, which is where I make these digital budget sheets. And I love Canva. It's an awesome program to use. And I have the pro version, and it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it way too much. And I also have a P.O. box. So if you ever want to write a letter or have comments, questions, or anything, you want to send it through the mail, I have a P.O. box you can send it through. It's in the description box, I think in all my videos. So anyways, there's that. And then there's the dividends. So let's go ahead and total all this up real quick. All right, so even though $486 and is that 15 cents? 15 cents is in the account. It got redistributed from what I owed for paying my property taxes, and then to adjust this to these numbers here to redistribute on all this and take it out of City of Chesapeake. I also took out of cell phone and technology. Let's see, how did I do that? So I have it right in front of me. I subtracted out $151.16, and these two numbers combined gave me what I needed from Amazon Prime all the way to the P.O. box. So that was what I have there. Let's see. And so these two numbers, I'm just going ahead and put a negative right there to remind myself that I'm subtracting it. $334.50 plus the $151.16. All right, so it's not the total amount here because of this change. I left the change in because that isn't something I actually deposited. It gets deposited because it's a dividend. So $485.66, and this is what I normally deposit for just the sinking funds part. I just took it out of City of Chesapeake appropriately based on the actual property tax and the actual stormwater bill that came in. And then I just used this cell phone tech that ended up being $207.01. I took $151 out and 16 cents to create this and redistributed these two. I subtracted out among all these, so it looked like I still had a deposit go in, even though it was just sitting in the bank. It didn't actually move or do anything. It's a savings account. It's just a regular savings account, but on paper it moved so that I know what's in each category, and each category will have the proper amount and ending balance here. Now, I don't think there's any other sinking funds coming out this month. Nothing that I have in my annual tracking list and stuff like that. So what I need to do is kind of go ahead and tally up all of this and show you the new number here at the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. So these are all the things that I filled in. It was $90 for Amazon Prime, $34.98 for Disney Plus, and the Apple subscription. Orkin termite spray was $122. We should have someone calling us soon, setting up a time to spray for the spring. And heat and AC contract, which is once a year, that's $30. We just spent that in April. I believe it was in April. Which is why the heating AC contract is low. And then that'll build back up for next year. Let's see, City of Chesapeake, I took out both bills and I still have $289.50 left, which is good because I only got a bill for one vehicle and not a bill for another vehicle. And I actually think my husband should call on that because normally we get two, one for each of our vehicles, and I haven't gotten a second one yet. Senior year, I'm up to $900. My goal is $1,200, so I am $300 away. So that's June, July, and August. Yeah, August is the last month I'll fund that, and that will go away. And then cell phone tech, I do $100 a month. I'm at $55.85. This is a fluctuating account. Sometimes this is just a buffer to use for other things if I don't need any technology right away. So, and this is like cell phones, tablets, what else technology? Laptops or headphones or stuff. Yeah, just stuff. Maybe even gear, like a case or something we can use that with. Christmas, I usually put $600 away, and then our family sends money as well for all of us, and that's always cool every year. Vacation, right now it's only at $50. I do have in my other savings account, which you'll see, that is my joint account with my husband. This is my personal account, and I wasn't using it, so that's why I put sinking funds in there. But the one I have with my husband in our joint checking that we've had for over 20 years, that actually has vacation for this year already put aside. So I really didn't need a lot of vacation in here. Canva, this will be the last month I'm doing this until next year, and this will just kind of go zero every month until next year. P.O. Box, there you go. I pay it every 6 months. It's $17. When you divide up, it's $17 a month. So dividend, I added that in. So my total here, and I'll just write it down because I have the number in front of me, is actually $81.15. So not much difference from the beginning to the end of the month, but that just means we maintained everything and we redistributed the funds and paid for what we need to pay for. So that's what I love about sinking funds. That's what I love about having a regular amount every month going into savings for these. I can use this amount that I normally put in here and use that to pay whatever sinking fund I have pop up and still keep money in and then redistribute that money properly throughout here. So, but that is the sinking funds. Now, the next thing I have is our savings tracker. Now, I typically, and I'm going to zoom out real quick before I get started. Okay, I'm back. I had to cut away for a minute. I had a phone call to take, and now I'm back. So, savings tracker. Now, I run my savings tracker, and I didn't print a new one. I know it says category. I meant to print one that said category here, but I don't sell them that way in the shop. This is how I sell them, with the date. But I treat my savings, all my savings account, as sinking funds, basically. So I'm just going to mark this out real quick and just call it category. And what I'm going to do is take these amounts and put them over here. My first one is always going to be my starter emergency fund. So I took the Financial Peace University class July of 2019, and I was on fire after that. It just really pumped me up to really focus on paying off debt, and in 15 months I paid off $44,000 worth of debt, credit cards, car loan, and school loans. And so, yeah, it was amazing. And then I started getting in budgeting and budgeting videos, and then I started creating my own budget sheets and creating budget videos. So that's what's brought me here today. And so this savings tracker is one of my favorites. I like just the line items and stuff. I know it's a whole page for such a little section, but sometimes I write notes down here, sometimes I don't. But I always was appreciative of that they give you a starter emergency fund. So the starter emergency fund that most people work on is the Dave Ramsey's $1,000, what he suggested. Now, I learned that when he first started this program, he didn't actually suggest an emergency fund to start with. It was just throw everything at debt. Years and years ago when he first started Financial Peace. And then later they're like, oh, let's just do $1,000, which tells me it's a random number. So if you have a starter emergency fund and you're looking at it and going, $1,000 is not enough, you're right. It's never enough. And he even admits that in some of his stuff. Now, I don't follow or listen to him like I did before, but I did learn a lot from him, so I will credit for what I have learned. But his people do say that if you have medical issues, or if you like that are very frequent, or things that come up, whatever your family situation is, $1,000 would not be enough. And you can add more to it if that's what you need. But not to start out with doing your whole 6 month or your whole 3 month emergency fund, because he wants you to start paying off debt fast. And in order to do that, you have to focus on paying off debt. So for me, $1,000 emergency fund is great if you live in an apartment, you're a small family, you don't have a lot of medical going on, and you're just starting out. If you're young, if you're small starter family or whatever like that. If you own your own home, because let me back up. So for the $1,000, your only real property is your furniture in your house and the cars that you drive. Typically, if you have newer cars, you don't need much more than $1,000 because you can maintenance those very well. If they're older and paid off, then you may need to use this $1,000 to help with the maintenance and stuff like that. That would be the only thing you're really using it for emergencies. If you own your own home, or if you have a mortgage and the bank owns your home, then you would want maybe something a little bigger, anywhere from to $3,000. Now I still put my $1,000 because that's where I began, and we did fine under $1,000, even though we do own our home and we have to buy new appliances if they go out or whatever. But it's a good place to start, especially if you're just struggling to reach $1,000 to save that first $1,000, and then add to it and let it grow as needed if you need more than this. But if you are a renter, $1,000 should be good. If you own your own home and have maintenance frequently, I would keep it $2,000 to $3,000, depending on the size of your home and value. The larger and more expensive might need more. The smaller and not more rural areas, maybe not so much. So, but keep in mind and keep track of when you would need new roofs and things like that are really high price ticket items. So, but if you're just struggling to even reach $1,000, then $1,000 emergency fund starter, get that going, and then throw your money at debt. And then once your debt's paid off, then start building this to your 3 to 6 month. That is the way I did it. That's the way I recommend other people do it. But unique situations, yes, I do think you need more. Currently, and we've saved pretty good for our 3 to 6 month savings. Write that down. This is for our expenses. Let's see, we have $9,125. And I'm not sure how much we're going to put in this month. I'm hoping to put in $1,480, I think, or $1,460, which is what we put last month. But we'll have to wait and see how this month turns out. So there's that. But I'm definitely going to grow that. We're definitely going to go over $10,000 in the month of May, which I'm super excited about because I just started this in December. So that's 6 months of savings. We saved $10,000. And all I did was, once our debt was paid off in October 30th of 2020, I took November off and just let November ride and bought Christmas gifts and any extra disposable income. And then December hit and I put our first deposit for what we needed in our 6 month emergency fund savings. And I'm like, I'm already 6 months in and $10,000 in. We had a snowball payment of $1,350 because we had a car that was a $570 car monthly payment that we paid off. We had school loans that were $350. And then we had a bunch of other stuff, and all of it totaled to $1,350 a month or more to our debt that we were paying every month. $1,350 was going to debt. Now I can put that $1,300 or more into savings every month for our emergency fund. And I'm super excited about that. And that's how we got to save so much, because we actually took our snowball debt payment and put it towards our 6 month emergency fund, which is going to be awesome because my husband does want to switch jobs eventually. And we're going to probably need it during that time period to give us some grace to get through. Travel expense, that's my husband's job. He does have expenses. We have to pay out of pocket. We just keep some money in savings. And he is supposed to travel. COVID is looking not so bad now in our area. We live in the state of Virginia, and they reported this weekend, I think Sunday, they only had reports of less than 400, like 380 or something like that. And that travel savings for the expenses is $100. So he gets to transfer that money, and he can pay for his food on the when he travels, or any lodging if he has to have hotel or any of the things. So there we go. And then the company reimburses us back. Here's our vacation in August. We just got approval for our vacation dates with the company my husband works with. And we're going to somewhere near and around Gatlinburg at some point in August. So $3,500 is what we've got put aside. If we need more than that, I'm sure we can use, we'll have more money put aside for it later. But for right now, this was our stimulus check, and the last one we got, and I just put it all here, and we're gonna have a great vacation, which I'm super excited for. Dividends. So this month we have, let's see, 35, and then $7.96, and I am adding in this time, and I've got to move something here to see. There we go. Because we have so much in this account, we had $12,971. We got dividends of a whopping $2. Let me find it again. $2.68. I wish it was 200. $2.68, giving us $10.64. Cool. All right, and I'm gonna write my total here because this is such a short list. I don't want to use a total at the bottom, and that's 1,400 or what? 1,000. Geez, I can't even talk today. $14,432.96. So this is our total in our current savings account at this time. So, yeah, that's what we have. So I'll get a little zoom in on my savings tracker here so you can see it just a little bit better. There we go. So yeah, this is what my savings tracker looks like. This is what I'm saving. When I go in to add my emergency fund for my 3 to 6 month, I'll put that right there. These two are actually kind of combined together, but my thought is eventually I'm going to put this part into a money market account, and I'm going to keep the $1,000 emergency fund in the regular savings account where it's like immediate available. And then this is account I can transfer from my money market account into a savings or into my checking to pay for stuff. We just haven't set it up yet, but we hope to do that soon. So yeah, all this looks pretty good. This is what I have. So I'm hoping to put $1,460 here again this month. We'll have to wait until the end of the month after my husband's payday. Can't remember when that is. 28th? 26th? I don't know. I'd have to look at a calendar. But yeah, we'll know at the end of the month on the last pay of the month, because that's where the money comes from. The first month pay, the middle month pay, that takes care of all our bills, our spending categories and expenses. And then the last check of the month is usually our most cash available disposable income, and that is where I pull all of our savings from and then just transfer at the end of the month. So that's when I close out the savings tracker and sinking funds. And yeah, that is what I have today. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.